Lesson 5-1, Area and Perimeter, continued. In the first video for this lesson, we learned how to figure out the area and perimeter of rectangles. In this video, we will learn how to figure out the area and perimeter of triangles. Okay, just as a quick review. If I had a rectangle that measured 8 inches by 4 inches, and I wanted to figure out the area, I would take its length and I would multiply it by its width, or this formula can be written as area equals base times height, right? We said that these are two ways of expressing the exact same formula. Area equals length times width, or area equals base times height. So the area of this rectangle would be base times height, which equals 8 inches times 4 inches. 8 times 4 is 32 inches squared. So the area of this rectangle would be 32 inches squared. Now, what if I were to cut this rectangle in half along its diagonal, like so? And I were to ask you, what is the area of one of the triangles formed when I cut this rectangle in half? So what is the area of this triangle that I'm currently shading in? Now you might be thinking to yourself that, well, since all I did was cut the rectangle in half, the area of this triangle must be exactly half the area of the rectangle. And you would be exactly correct. Right, so we said before that the area of the rectangle is equal to base times height. And since all we did was cut this rectangle in half along its diagonal, the area of the triangle formed must be exactly half of this, right? It must be half. It must be half of the area of a rectangle, okay? So to take half of that, we can simply write the area of the rectangle and divide it by 2. And this right here is the formula that you will use to figure out the area of any triangle. Area of a triangle equals its base times height divided by 2. Okay, in some textbooks you might see it written as area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, these are two different ways of expressing the same exact formula. Alright, let's try a couple of examples. Let's say I have a triangle. It has a base of 5 inches and a height of 3 inches, and I want to figure out the area. Well, area is simply equal to base times height divided by 2. Our base is 5 inches. Our height is 3 inches, and we'll divide that by 2. 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 divided by 2 is 7.5 inches squared. Right, we're once again working with area, so we have to express our answer in terms of units squared. Okay. The one thing I want to bring to your attention right off the bat, because it's very important, is that the base of your triangle, in this case it's 5, the base of your triangle will always form a right angle with the height of your triangle. Alright? And in the next example, I'll explain why that's really important. Okay? So once again, the base of your triangle and the height of your triangle must always come together to form a right angle. Right? If we had a triangle that looks like this, and I were to tell you that the base was, let's say, 8 centimeters, I'm going to tell you that this dimension is 4 centimeters. This dimension is 6 centimeters. And this dimension is 10 centimeters. Okay, what is the area of this triangle? Well, we will apply our formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. Now, the base of this triangle clearly is 8 centimeters. But what's the height? Okay, as we said before, the base and the height must always come together to form a right angle. So 4 centimeters would be the height of this triangle. Why? Because it forms a right angle with the base. A very common mistake would be to use this measure, 6, as the height. That is not the height of this triangle. In fact, we don't even need this measurement to figure out the area of the triangle. We will need it to figure out perimeter, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so once again, the base and the height must come together to form a right angle. So 4 is the height of this triangle. 8 times 4 divided by 2. 8 times 4 is 32, and 32 divided by 2 gives me 16. 16 centimeters squared. Let's try another example. Let's see, what if I have a triangle with a base of 9 inches. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It's difficult for me to write that small. Has a base of 9 inches and a height of 3 inches. The area would be 9 times 3 divided by 2, which equals 27 divided by 2, which is 13.5 inches squared. What if I have a triangle that looks like this? Okay, and I tell you that its base is 12 inches long. What would the height of this triangle be? Which side would represent the height, right? We said the height must always form a right angle with the base. So in this case, our height would actually be this distance right here. Okay? And I'm going to tell you that this is 5 inches. Right? This has to be the height because the base and the height must come together to form a right angle. Okay? Okay. So the area of this triangle is going to be area equals base times height divided by 2. Our base is 12 times our height of 5 divided by 2. 12 times 5 equals 60, and 60 divided by 2 equals 30 inches squared. Okay? Alright. Let's quickly learn how to figure out the perimeter of a triangle. And just like with the perimeter of a rectangle, or the perimeter of any shape for that matter, to figure out perimeter, all you're really figuring out is the distance around the shape. Okay? So let's imagine that you had a garden in the shape of a triangle, and its measurements were 6 feet by 6 feet by 8 feet, and you wanted to figure out the perimeter of your garden. You would basically just add up all the lengths of the sides, right? So your perimeter would be 6 feet plus 6 feet plus 8 feet. 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 8 equals 20 feet. Alright, let's try one more example where we have to figure out the area and perimeter of the triangle. Alright, let's see. Okay. Let's first figure out the area of this triangle. area equals base times height divided by 2. What is the base of this triangle? Well, the base of this triangle is 15 inches. 15 times, what is our height? Well, the height must form a right angle with the base. So this must be our height, 7 inches. 15 times 7 divided by 2. What is 15 times 7? 15 times 7, that's 105. And 105 divided by 2 equals 52.5 inches squared. Okay, now let's determine the perimeter of a triangle. Remember, the perimeter of any shape is just the distance around the shape. Perimeter equals, okay, so because we're concerned with the distance around the shape, we really don't care about any measurements inside the shape. So this measurement right here really is meaningless when we're trying to figure out the perimeter. We are concerned with this length plus this length plus this length, right? The outside of the triangle. So 6 inches plus 9 inches plus 15 inches equals, let's see, 6 plus 9 is 15, and 15 plus 15 equals 30 inches. Okay, and that's really all there is to figuring out the area and perimeter of triangles. See you in the next video.